Hello everyone, myself Mr. Somsekhar Ganigir, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering, Imperial College of Engineering and Research, Wagholi, Pune. In this today's session, we will be seeing how we can find the holding torque of a epicyclic gear train. Now, there are two terms, holding torque and epicyclic gear train. We must understand what is the epicyclic gear train. First, we will try to understand the concept of epicyclic gear train. Then, we will see what is holding torque and how we can perform the experiment using the apparatus we will see. So, this diagram will be explaining the concept of epicyclic gear train. In this one, if we are looking at this figure, this is a central gear. I will be calling this as sun gear. And there are three gears which can be called as the planet gears. And there is one gear which is having the internal teeth, that is called as the annular gear. The same thing with shaft attachment is shown here. The input shaft is always connected to the sun gear. The output shaft will be connected to the connector which is connecting sun and planet, that is called as the arm. The arm will be carrying n number of planet gears. In this figure there is only one planet, and in this one there are three planet gears. The arm will be connected to the output shaft and the sun is connected to the input shaft. This annular gear will be also rotating. Now, if I want to only stop the annular gear, that is also possible. If I am stopping only the annular gear, what happens is still the input shaft will rotate, also the output shaft will be rotating. Whatever the amount of torque that is required to stop only the annular gear or internal gear is called as the holding torque. Now, by looking at this figure, we can say that if I want to find the holding torque, I will be applying certain amount of force on this rotating internal gear, and if I am multiplying that force into radius of the annular gear, I will be getting the holding torque. So this like this, by experimentally we will be finding the holding torque. One more thing is the holding torque will be equal to the internal input torque minus output torque. Input torque is torque carried by this sun gear, output torque is torque carried by the arm. Like this also we can find out the holding torque. Next we will be going to the observation table. Here we can see how we can find the different or what readings we are going to take. In the tabular method, we can see that we will be having, say, serial number, input speed, output speed, voltage, current, load on the pulley, and finally holding torque. If I am looking at this figure, in this one, here this green color shaft is indicating the input shaft, and this red color shaft or the arm which is carrying the three planet gears is connected to this shaft. This will be the output shaft, and this arm the annular gear is rotating in this direction. If I am looking from this direction, it is rotating in the clockwise direction. The same thing in the experimental setup form is shown here. See, this outer one is the spring balance which from which we can measure the output torque, and here we can see one more spring balance. From this I can find the holding torque, that is the torque required to stop the internal gear. Now the same thing is shown in the exploded view. So here I can see that this is the input shaft and this will be the output shaft, and this is the arm carrying the planet gears. In this one there are only two planets, and this is the outer annular gear. So what we'll do is once we start the apparatus or the motor, we'll be giving certain load to the this output shaft by using the spring balance, and then we'll be taking the readings. How we'll be taking actually the readings? I will be demonstrating with the actual apparatus. So let us move on to the actual apparatus and see how we can take the readings. So good morning. So today we will be seeing the experiment on epicyclic gear train. Now this apparatus is called as the epicyclic gear train. In this one we can see that this is the DC motor and this particular part will be called as the epicyclic gear train, and this will be the input shaft of the epicyclic gear train, and this is the output shaft of the epicyclic gear train. It is connected to the pulley like this. Now on this epicyclic we are having a loading arrangement using this belt here. Then on this output shaft, that is the pulley, we are having the loading arrangement using this spring balance. Now the epicyclic gear train will be consisting of sun, planet and the arms. The input shaft will be always connected to the sun gear, and the output shaft will be always connected to the arm which is carrying the planet gears. In this one there are 3 planet gears, one sun and one arm. The arm is connected to the output shaft which is connected to this pulley. Now when we are operating this DC motor, we can start the motor like this. Now you can see that it is rotating. So if we are making this output shaft free, that is by loosening this spring, and if we are operating, you can see that this output shaft is also now rotating, is it not? Now at the same time I loosen this also. Now you can see that all the things are rotating, that is input shaft, epicyclic gear train and the output shaft. So there is one term called as the holding torque. So holding torque is basically the torque required to only stop the epicyclic gear train. Now to understand this holding torque, if you are looking here, if I am holding this one tightly, and if I rotate this output shaft, we can see that I can rotate the output shaft, but still this epicyclic gear train is not rotating. Then how it will be getting the motion? See, in this one we will be having sun gear that is connected to the input shaft and it is having the arms. So holding torque is defined as the torque required to stop this epicyclic gear train while this output shaft is rotating. So to understand this, suppose I am starting the motor. Now it is rotating with certain speed. Now if I go on increasing the load on this epicyclic gear train, now you can see that this is stopped, epicyclic gear train, input shaft is rotating and the output shaft is also rotating. So the whatever torque I am applying, that is the torque applied at this end. How I can measure this one? That will be measured by spring balance mass M. Suppose it is 0.75 kgs. 0.75 to 9.81 into its radius. Like this I can find the holding torque. Now because the power remains same, whatever the input power is there, the same power will be transmitted to the output shaft. If we are neglecting the friction, then what happens is the sum of powers of this will be divided to this and some part to this. Now to find the input torque, I can find the input power. How I can find the input power? See, it is a DC motor and here you can see that we are having voltmeter and ammeter attached. So when we are operating, you can see that we will be having certain readings on this voltage and current. So if I am multiplying these two, I will be getting the input torque. Now by using a tachometer applied at this end, I can find the speed of this DC motor. So once I find the power and speed, by using the equation P equal to 2 pi nt by 60, we can find the input torque. So like this I am finding the input torque. Now let us see how we can find the output torque. So to find the output torque, we can use this spring balance. See, if I am attaching say up to this level. Now what is the spring balance reading? Say it is, how much is on 1? See, now it is, let us say we have adjusted this one to 1.5 kgs. So the spring balance is showing 1.5. So to find the output torque, how we can find 1.5 kgs into 9.81 into radius of this rotating pulley. So like this we can find the output torque. The input torque minus output torque will be equal to the holding torque. So like this, in this experiment we will be finding the holding torque. Now let us define holding torque. Holding torque is the torque required to stop only the annular gear of a epicyclic gear train. See, this outer part is called as the annular gear. So it will be having the internal tip. That will be always equal to input torque minus output torque. So this is the background of this experiment. Now to start with the experiment, I will be showing the reading columns in the theory part, or I will be sharing the lab manual later. Now for practical procedure, what we have to do is, first we have to apply zero load on this output shaft. That is, we will make free this one completely. So now it is having no load. Then we will be making this also free. Then we will start the motor and keep a certain speed. Now at this speed what we will do is, we will go on applying the load on the epicyclic gear train. Say at this location, at this point of load, what happens? The epicyclic gear train is stopped. Is it not? Now this will be the holding condition. Now we are holding the epicyclic gear train. At this point we have to note down emitter and voltmeter readings, input speed, then output speed, and what load we are applying on the epicyclic gear train. This much you have to note down. So this will be our first reading. Then to go for the second reading, again we have to free all the things. Then we have to apply say 0.5 load on this output shaft. We will be applying say 0.5 load on the output shaft. Then we will repeat the same procedure. In short, I will go on applying the load at the epicyclic gear train till it comes to rest. So now it is coming to rest. At this location, we will be noting the emitter voltmeter readings, because from that we find the power. Then we will be noting the input speed, then output speed. So like this, we will be going on, can go on taking few readings there. I will be applying certain load on the output shaft. Now the load is 0.5 kg. Next I will apply 1.5 and 2. Up to 2 kg it can take. So for these 4 readings we will be repeating the same procedure and taking the readings. Now what you can observe is this is the input torque that will remain same. Then this is the output torque. When we are increasing the load on this one, this output torque will be increased. Holding torque is input torque minus output torque. So when we are applying certain load on this output shaft, what happens? The holding torque will be reduced. So when in the first case, when it is free, at that time, suppose we are applying say 2 kg of load on the epicyclic to hold it, and in the next case if I am applying 1 kg, in the second case the load required to hold will be lesser than the first case, because input torque is same but the output torque is increased. So like this, by this experiment we can see that the meaning of holding torque and the procedure to find this. Thank you. So now I think that by the detailed video, whatever you have seen, which is conducted or which is prepared on the actual apparatus, by looking at that, you must be aware of as to how we will be taking different readings, how we will be measuring the speed, and how we will be finding the holding torque. Like this, we will be taking, let us say, 4 serial number of readings. Input speed measure will be noting output speed, voltage, current, load on the pulley, and will be noting the holding torque, holding load on the epicyclic also. Now let us look at the sample calculations. The input power is given by V into I, voltage into current, that will be in watts. So from that we will be finding the input torque. We are having the equation P equal to 2 pi nt by 60. So from that we will be finding the torque. Therefore that will be in certain Newton meters. Similarly we can find the output torque as M R into G, where M is the mass of the pulley, R is the radius, and G is gravity constant. Like we can find the holding torque by input torque minus output torque. This is, we are considering this as a theoretical holding torque. And how we can find the practically holding torque is, if I am here we are finding the holding load on the epicyclic, so that load multiplied by radius of this internal gear. From that we can find the holding torque practically. By comparing those, we will come to know that whether our procedure is correct or near to accurate or not. Like this, by using this experiment we will be finding how we can find the holding torque. Finally we will be writing the results in this sequence: input torque, output torque, and the holding torque. We can see that the holding torque will be approximately equal to input torque minus output torque. So this is regarding the experiment of the finding of holding torque of an epicyclic gear train. Thank you.